So off the rip, I'm going to make it very clear. Hellblade 2 is a massively divisive game, and that's because you're actually reviewing two different products here. You're reviewing Hellblade the experience, and you're reviewing Hellblade the video game. The experience is truly mind-blowing. A game that'll make you shake your head in disbelief at what is quite frankly an eye into the future of video gaming, with the use of the Unreal 5 engine and a level of lighting, animation and graphical fidelity that is mind-boggling. The game? Pretty mundane, tedious, and dare I say for large parts, touch boring. Sadly for me, Hellblade 2 doesn't improve enough upon the first game. There's no steps forward in gameplay, the emotional beats of the story are not as impactful as the first, and the puzzling isn't varied enough, interesting enough, or challenging enough to hold the player's attention. But when this game hits, boy it hits big. This is quite simply part interactive movie, part walking simulator. And the truth is, the movie parts of this game far outclass the video game parts. The question I always ask is a game worth your time? That's the perspective from which I review games on Pass the Controller. And honestly, I'd say this is worth your time simply to have a glimpse into the future of gaming. Because if this is what the Unreal 5 engine can deliver, we are in for something very special in the coming years. I think we always talk about next gen, especially when a new console iteration comes out or a new big powerful graphics card comes out. I think this is the first time in a long time I've seen something truly next generational. Yes, the game is only 5 or 6 hours long, and no, I do not think that is worth £50 or $50 or however much it is in your country. However, if you have Game Pass and a powerful PC, I would honestly give this a go just to have a cheeky peek into what's to come in the future of video gaming. It's exciting, it's mesmerizing, and at times, quite simply, it's mind-blowing. So before you invest your precious time in Hellblade 2, what is it? Well, quite simply, this is a cinematic offering from beginning to end. Starting in the way it's presented in a letterbox format similar to any cinema you will go to, Hellblade's focus is completely on cinematic representation. Now that letterbox format reinforces the notion that this is more of a movie than a video game, and that definitely puts a focus on the more cinematic qualities of Hellblade 2, offering a kind of unique art house video game experience that you would get from maybe the latest Jonathan Glazer movie. It's stunning graphically with incredible attention to detail, from the debris blowing in the wind to the water flowing down stones. Every element is meticulously crafted. The sound design, like the first game, is unsettling as it's meant to be. The 3D sound allowed the voices in Hellblade 2 to really get under your skin, designed to provoke anxiety. This is intentional, adding to the immersive and psychological experience. I did personally find it at times annoying. I wish they'd shut up, but I guess that's kind of the point. Now you hear this a lot with modern games. Oh, this game has best in class or industry leading graphics. Listen, forget whatever you've seen before. This is by far the best visual game you will see. It is mind-boggling. I lost count of the amount of times I just shook my head in what I was witnessing. It's blurring the lines between real life, movies, and games. It's insane. Stating the obvious, the lead performance by the lead actress is incredible, absolutely sensational stuff. And the same can be said for the rest of the cast. So if this is an interactive movie, then what's the story like? And though I feel it's solid, for me it's a step back from the first game. The actual reasons for Senua's journey here are just not as impactful emotionally as the first game. And that's because the motivation for her journey here is to free slaves or to stop slavers raiding her village, but you just don't have that connection to the people she's trying to protect because they haven't built that relationship. However, I will say this, that the payoff towards the back end, and obviously I can't talk about this due to spoilers, but the payoff towards the back end and the way they bring it all together narratively, symbolically, I really like that. However, despite my reservations on the overall emotional impact compared to the first game, the game still hits when it needs to. And that's in part due to the stunning visuals, animations, and music, which all foster a deep human connection to Senua. So it's still good, but just not as profound as the original. Now the narrative here is very heavy on dialogue, especially in long stretches between set pieces. There's dialogue between other characters that you meet along the way, which is a welcome change from the first game, as well as inner monologues, which of course appear frequently in the first game and here as well. Though these segments offer insight into her mental state, dreams and fears, with the lack of variety in the gameplay, something I'll touch on in a minute, feels like it added to large stretches of nothingness. So the first game was criticised for its lack of variety in the gameplay, and sadly the second game is guilty of exactly the same thing. If the delivery of an immersive world is the great thing and the greatest thing about Hellblade 2, then the gameplay is easily the worst. Now I do have to point out here that the combat scenes in Hellblade 2 are just visceral, a feast for the senses. Now that doesn't mean it plays well, but it looks bloody incredible. The kill animations, the lighting, the look on Senua's face as she swings a sword or executes an enemy, it's crazy. It has to be seen to be believed. Not on YouTube, but on a nice big TV with a big GeForce graphics card powering it. It's crazy stuff, it really is. But sadly, that's probably the only good thing I've got to say about the actual gameplay. The actual playing of Hellblade 2 is pretty average, and that's probably being kind. A combat system that has just blocks and 2 swings, enemies that come at you one by one on every single fight that you have in the game, large stretches of just pushing forward on the thumbstick as you crawl or climb, and then even more large stretches where you simply walk and talk between different areas in the game. The puzzles, sadly, though you have, I mean, I'm going to say some variety from the first game, but I mean, you have like one different puzzle from the first game, are just as boring and monotonous as they were in the first game, and they honestly just feel like padding to allow them to put a little bit of extra narrative in between fight scenes. I mean, being totally honest, they've clearly put very little time into the gameplay aspect of it, and I don't think they ever had any plans to make this a game that genuinely has some proper gameplay. This is clearly a passion project about delivering a narrative experience, a cinematic experience in one of the most visually dazzling worlds people would have ever seen in a video game. And that is the price you pay, and something you need to know if you're thinking of buying Hellblade 2. This isn't a video game, it's an experience. So all in all, Hellblade 2 offers an experience that must be seen to be believed. For gamers with access to the Game Pass, it's a must play, just due to the exceptional presentation and craftsmanship. It's a must play because I think we like to look forward to things as gamers. This is our hobby, and we like to have a glimpse into the future. And this game provides that. Yes, as a video game, it's deeply flawed, and an argument can really be had as whether or not this is actually a video game. But with the cinematic quality on show, the Unreal 5 engine doing so much heavy lifting, it's a compelling product. It's at times a mind-blowing experience, and it's hard to believe that this is actually made in the Unreal 5 engine, and this is going to be the cornerstone of our video games going forward. It's really exciting to see in action, and I cannot wait till we get a game with some real gameplay using this engine. It's going to blow your mind. And that's it really. It's a hell of a movie, a hell of an experience, and a weird video game. But thanks for listening. Thanks for staying with us this far. Peace out, take care, leave a like, etc, etc. If you can, I would appreciate it. Peace.